A street preacher had a stick pulled on him and pointed in his face by a member of the Transformer community. With the recent events of Christians being persecuted in the Congo and in the Middle East, are we starting to see a horrifying trend, a rise in potential Christian persecution? Well, let's take a look at what's happened in the West over the past few decades. April 20th, 1999, high school. 2 students storm into the building, unleashing terror. In the chaos of all of this, they asked their classmates a chilling question. Do you believe in God? When one of the classmates answers yes, she doesn't leave that room alive. Fast forward June 17th, 2015, Charleston, South Carolina. During a Wednesday night Bible study, a visitor comes in, listens for an hour, and then stands up. Moments later, 9 people never make it home. The goal? To strike fear into a people that are known for their resilience and faith. October 1st, 2015, Umpqua Community College, Oregon. A lone individual walks into a classroom and cites out students. Are you a Christian? He asks. Those who say yes don't survive. Those who stay silent or deny their faith make it home. The media covers the story, but one specific detail is omitted, that this individual is specifically believers. Then, July 26, 2016, in France, an 85-year-old priest is commanded to kneel at the altar by 2 radicals. They mock his faith and take his life source in front of his congregation. Christians throughout history have been persecuted, but this most recent act that could have potentially gone very left was caught on video and is now viral all over the internet. But before we get into that, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. My name is Ruslan. This channel exists to encourage, empower, inspire you. So live a life that blesses God. If you're new here, if you're not new here, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Let's jump into the video.
But you need to try less being like somebody you're not and start to humble yourself and be somebody that God made you to be. He didn't make a man to be a woman. He made the man to be a man. He didn't make the woman to be a man. He made the woman to be a woman. And this is the truth. What are you going to do? Come attack me now? Hey, man, that's up to you. If you want to pull that on me, well, God bless you. So you just threat.
Wild. This is a crime, right?
Oh, 100%. Even if this is a fake, it's a crime.
Why is this person not apprehended?
Because they're already in jail because of their outfit. Do you think it's real?
I don't know who's walking around with a prop gun like that.
I mean, someone that dresses like a character.
I mean, look at the lack of trigger discipline. Hey, who is this gentleman? Because he barely flinched.
Hey, man, that's up to you. If you want to pull that on me.
Hey, first of all, for the record,
first response after getting pulled on you by a person and saying, "Hey, man,"
standing 10 toes down on the quote unquote misgendering.
This
is a sickness of the highest order. Praise God, nothing happened here. Could you imagine if the finger would have slipped and this was a real stick?
God bless you. So you just pulled a gun on my face. Man, Lord have mercy on you. This means that you don't even know who you are. Nope, I still love you. Even though you pulled a gun on me, I still love you. I still bless you.
I mean, listen.
You could legally defend yourself on some of that.
San Francisco is all the way off its rocker. There's no reason to go to San Francisco anymore. It's a complete hellhole.
Mm-hmm.
And even if he did have security with him, or he did have an ability to defend himself, let's say he had a conceal and carry, let's say security had a conceal and carry, and they would have responded with force, he would have still probably got arrested for it and had to spend the night in jail and go through a bunch of nonsense. Huh?
In San Francisco?
Yeah, in California. This is why they sell that insurance or whatever.
California actually has some pretty decent stand your ground laws.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So what is the point of that insurance?
Because you can get got anywhere.
What do you mean by get got?
Meaning the prosecutor, the state prosecutor just being like, you know what, I don't like.
Yeah, I remember there's a video of a gentleman where people they came to his house. There's a viral video. They came to his house and he pulled his arm and he shot at the robbers as they were trying to rob him, and he went to jail.
Yeah, I do remember
this happened in LA I
remember that.
Less than a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't think this is as like clean cut as you think it is. I think there's a good possibility you're going to jail if you shoot somebody.
Earlier this month, a local homeowner went viral after surveillance video captured him defending his home, pulling out his concealed carry and firing at
he had a conceal
suspects. Now, until today, he has remained
back at the dude.
Tonight, he says it's time to come forward and show his face. That homeowner is Vince Ritchie.
Hey, one time.
Vince Ritchie.
One time.
Come on, man. Still on business.
For Vince Ritchie for standing on business. They said the NRA had to help him out. I say the complicated part about all of this is we shouldn't be shocked or surprised by this. In John 15:18, Jesus says, if the world hates you, keep in mind that it hated me first. If you belong to the world, it would have loved you as its own. As it is, you do not belong to the world, but I have chosen you out of the world. That is why the world hates you. Remember what I told you, a servant is not greater than his master. If they persecuted me, they will persecute you also. If they obeyed my teaching, they will obey yours. They will treat you this way because of my name, for they do not know the one who sent me. So I think it's interesting that Jesus tells the disciples this. Now, obviously, there's levels to persecution. What the disciples experience is very different than what most of us in the West experience, but there is still a degree that, hey, people who don't know Jesus and are hostile to Jesus will also be hostile to Jesus's people. That should not surprise us. I remember growing up, and one of the books that I discovered that kind of really jolted me when it came to my faith and the potential consequences of my faith, if you will, was a book called Jesus Freak. And it was documenting all the different martyrs throughout history. One of them was the Columbine thing that we shared at the beginning of the video. Others were apostolic fathers or some of the disciples and how they died, guys like Peter being crucified upside down, so on and so forth. And it just painted this image that martyrdom is a possibility. I think it's less of a possibility in today's context, though you never know. And that dying as a martyr and dying for the faith is not something that makes you weak or something that makes you a coward. It actually is the opposite. It's one of the most courageous things that anybody can do. I think the practical application for us is in Ephesians 5:15, where the Apostle Paul is writing to the church in Ephesus. He tells them, be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity because the days are evil. The days that we live in are evil. The times that we live in are evil. The further east of Eden we go, sometimes the darker the world seems. But that doesn't mean that we as Christians are just supposed to sit on our hands, wait for Jesus to come back and not do anything. I believe that we as Christians are supposed to make the most of every opportunity by using the resources, the skills, the abilities, the time that we have to usher in God's kingdom on this side of eternity. And when Jesus prayed the Lord's Prayer, he talks about that your kingdom come, that your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And I think that God has us here and is equipping us to do his work on this side of eternity. And so that may look different for every single person. That may look different for you based on what season of life you're in. But what that doesn't mean is that we are to flee, we are to be afraid, we are to not lean in and make the most of every opportunity with the resources that God has given us and entrusted us to manage for his glory. And I know this may seem daunting and hard, but I actually believe that while this is happening, paradoxically, God is moving and there's a potential another great awakening happen. And if you want to hear more about that and what I shared in front of 8,000 students at Liberty University, check this video out here. All right, I'll see you over there. Peace.